Guys, in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly when is the right time to get your second location. For those who are new to the channel, my name is Brian Waldron, did $3.5 million in event space brick and mortar sales by the age of 26. Now we have the #1 event space consulting program in the country, showing over 419 clients how to find, fund, and fill their very own event space. Let's get into it. One of the #1 things that people ask me is, Brian, when is it time for me to get a second location? And one of the biggest indicators for this is that you are booked out for 3 months at competitive market pricing to know when you is time to get to the second location. Now, what is competitive market pricing? I mean, if all the venues in your area are charging around $1,500 to $2,500 and you're charging $300, that's not competitive at all. I remember when I opened up my first location, Fulton Studio, back in Brooklyn in 2017, we were booked out for 3 months, but it was also because we were so cheap, because I didn't know anything about pricing or anything like that. And then once we raised our pricing back to competitive market pricing, we still maintain a good level of bookings and whatnot, but obviously it did drop down. We weren't booked out. Like, we were literally booked out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 3 months. I couldn't even offer somebody a date. It had to be like a Thursday. It was wild. One of the second things that you want to really underscore when you are trying to open up a second location is you want to avoid self-cannibalization. When I had opened up my second location, one of the biggest things that I realized was that since they were so close together, a lot of people were looking at it like, oh, well, if these are around the same price and they're around the same size, like, I'm just gonna go with the nicer one. And so they would book whatever one looked nicer or had more amenities at that time, and then they wouldn't go to the next one. I mean, make even less money with the first one, make more money with the second one, and they would just go flip-flop and go back and forth. That does not make any sense, which is why there are some do's and don'ts to consider when you are looking at opening up a second location. One of the first one is that you definitely want to try to get spaces of different sizes. You don't want to get 2 locations that are 1,500 square feet unless they are super far apart, which leads me to my second point. You want to make sure that they were far enough apart, but not far enough to the point where it is difficult to manage, right? So if you're in New York, maybe have one venue in Brooklyn, one venue in Queens, or even if you're just in Brooklyn, maybe one in South Brooklyn and one in maybe East Brooklyn, or, you know, just maybe far enough apart, maybe a good 30 minutes apart where it makes sense that somebody would pick only one location and wouldn't really consider the other one. The third thing that you really want to consider is that if you are offering rentals, you want to keep in mind travel and inventory logistics. You'll most likely need a truck, maybe even a storage unit, maybe even a rental team to help you with the back and forth, simply because now that you have a second or even third location, it's a whole different level of logistics, which I'm not trying to throw shade or anything like that, but we see a few other event space coaches and we kind of look at them and just like, oh, well, how many locations have you opened up? And they're just like, well, we've opened up 1. You don't have an event space business. You have 1 event space. You don't have an event space company. Until you are at the point where you've opened up multiple locations and it's a repeatable blueprint, I don't think it's a good idea to really get into coaching. But hey, get your money. Guys, my name is Brian Waldron. I make these videos to inspire entrepreneurship, showcase the event space industry, and just overall, it's really just a lot of fun. If you like this video, definitely make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know what other videos I should create next. Let's get it. Let's go.